When you're told that something is going to be a special edition book, what are you expecting? Like, what do you want out of a special edition book? What should we really be asking for here? I'm really curious what your guys' thoughts are on what a special edition actually should be, because there's been a couple of series that have come out that put this into question, in my opinion. The most prevalent example would be the four or five different editions of Crescent City Book 3 that came out, and a lot of the frustration and anger in the book community towards the fact that there were five different editions with bonus chapters, and yet the books were identical. So let me break down my thoughts on this, and I'm curious what yours are. I know when it comes to special edition books, there's actually a variety of different types. There's like collector's edition type books, special edition type books, limited edition books, exclusive edition books, and anniversary edition books. There might even be others, but those are like the big categories I could think of when I was thinking about different types of special books. When we're talking collector's edition books, which honestly, I'm not sure if I have any, those are the books that are extremely expensive. When I hear a collector's edition book, I'm thinking the most expensive, most well-made books that are on the market. And so I'm thinking like the leather-bound collection from Brandon Sanderson with the beautiful new covers, but also just they're leather-bound. They have so much attention to detail. They're going to be more expensive. I know that some authors also try to create collector's edition type books and have them be super expensive, but don't always put all the effort in that maybe they should. I say this with all due respect, but I do know that Joe Abercrombie released that he's having new hardcover editions for his First Law trilogy, and they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but I know a bunch of people who bought them, or if we're thinking about buying them, kind of got frustrated that they were glued for their binding instead of sewn. And since they're hardcovers, when you sew binding for a hardcover, that is like the prime best way to go about it, at least from what I heard. So a bunch of people are kind of frustrated because he was selling these books at very extremely high prices, and yet there was glued binding. So we have levels of expectation depending upon how fancy these books are supposed to be. When it comes to special editions, what I think is like My Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson. This book has bonus art content through the use of like these comics at the bottom of each of the pages. There's also bonus art content just at the front of the book as well. So there's quite a bit of like extra bonus stuff. The cover is unique and very special. The feel of it is amazing. The quality of this book is beautiful and fabulous, but it's not up, in my opinion, to a collector's edition standard. It's still what I would say is special edition. These books for these secret projects are going for about, I think, $70 a piece. So very expensive, but we're not looking at hundreds of dollars for a book. Still very pricey, but it's got unique art. It's got unique things inside of it that make it special. Another special edition that I have is Till Death. I have not read this book, but you can see with the sprayed edges, this makes it special, right? And we've got on the inside, we've got this beautiful art pieces, but also just look at this cover. And for the feel, for the touch, it's a fabric type book. So really, oh, just look at that. Oh, and look at this. It's a reversible cover. I mean, this is one of my most beautiful special edition books. I got this for like $30. So grateful. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a special edition. Haven't read the book yet. Excited to read the book eventually. Then we have limited edition books like this Foxy Tales, which is part of the Zodiac Academy series. This is one of the short stories. This is probably the most expensive short story I've bought, the most expensive paperback that I've bought that's this short. This one only comes on sale for short periods of time. I got it this last December. Hopefully it'll be back on sale next December if you were hoping to get this. I think I spent like $20 on it. It's a solid, this one is limited edition because you can only buy it in the physical copy version for a very brief amount of time. This is specifically a limited edition because it goes on sale in order to support the charity, the Fox Project. So that's why this is a limited edition. It truly is a limited edition. I've seen books that come out and they say limited edition and then they're available for years. This has literally only been available for very short periods of time. I've seen them available for very short periods of time in the December-January period. So this would be a limited edition book. Then you have exclusive edition books, which would be like this Barnes & Noble exclusive Crave edition. I have a couple of these. They usually have this sticker that you can remove. It's been removed for this book, but I do still have it for my crush on this book. These books are sold exclusively at certain bookstores. They sometimes have bonus content. When it comes to the Crave series, it's the color scheme. So these are purple. So this would be an exclusive edition because it's only sold at one specific bookstore, and they have the rights to whatever bonus content they're adding to that exclusive edition. Then we have anniversary editions, like for example, Assassin's Apprentice. This is a 10-year anniversary edition with bonus art, which is awesome. There's also art throughout the book itself. Beautiful. Again, this is not a book that I have read yet. I'm very excited to read this trilogy as well as the Elderling series in total, but this would be an anniversary special edition. Brandon Sanderson's Elantris also is a special edition. The special 10th edition has all this extra bonus content that he references on that front. So again, a anniversary edition is going to come after a certain period of time, and it's going to be like, yay, this book did well. Here we are publishing it again. Here's some bonus content. Okay, so those are like all the different types of like special collectors, limited edition, different edition type books that you can get. But I'm curious what you would say is appropriate when it comes to these special books. So not only do we have these beautiful books that I have, which I love, but also I know that there's been a lot of controversy, for example, with Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City Book 3, with multiple publications, with multiple exclusive editions that were just released in certain bookstores with bonus content. The same thing happened with the Crave series by Tracy Wolf. I have read that series and I do love it, but they also sold specific books at specific bookstores, and each of those books had bonus content, and yet the books themselves were identical. That's how you end up with these shelves where you see like multiple of the same book, but the people bought them because they're technically all different exclusive editions. Is that actually what should be happening? My biggest issue with regards to that is really about accessibility. I think that books should be accessible. I love libraries. I think that it's great that I'm able to buy books. I also know that not everyone can. I think books should be accessible. So when you have an author who has 5 different editions of the Crescent City book or multiple different editions of the Crave series book, that's not going to be all available for library goers. And they're going to miss out on a lot of that bonus content, especially bonus chapters that if you were really to spend the money to go get all of them, not only would you have so many books on your shelf that are duplicates, I mean, they're near identical to each other, except for these extra bonus chapters. So not only would you have to have plenty of money to be able to do that, but you'd also have to have the space to do it if you're going to do it through the legal channels of acquiring. I don't think it's fair, not just to book buyers and to people who enjoy books, but like even for those who are trying to get this content at libraries. I think books should have I think books should be accessible. And I think that even when it comes to special edition content, I also think that there should be accessibility there. And when you have multiple editions that are identical, you're really taking away from the accessibility of all of the lore in those stories for the people who want to read them. And that's everybody, library goers and book buyers themselves. Like, I will say, I really appreciate authors like Brandon Sanderson, like Rebecca Yarros, actually, who made their bonus chapters available for free online. I know that Brandon Sanderson has made his bonus art for his special projects, special editions. All the art that's in them, all the pages of art, are free online, and you can go look them up, and he lets everybody have them. That feels really fair to me, because yes, you can spend the money to purchase a special edition book. That's awesome. But if you can't afford it, it's okay. You can still gain all the lore and special art related to the story because the author has made it available to everybody. You might not have it in the physical copy edition, but at least you can access it online. I really appreciate that. I know there was a lot of controversy about Rebecca Yarros's Fourth Wing books, especially when she started making extra editions like the ones that came from the sports games, like the Avalanche game, that red edition. And I think there was another one with like a baseball game and it was a white edition. And people are like, it's just a money grab. I understand that, yes, the authors are trying to make money, and that's valid. It's valid. It's fair. From what I know, those editions don't have any bonus chapters. They're really about just having this event that was put on that was special, and you got a very similar identical book, but it's attached to a larger event that's really special and really adds to the experience of having that book. And I think that's really valuable. Even though for me, like, I'm never going to want to collect that 4th book edition because I didn't go to those games. So I don't need those bonus books. If you want to have like a full shelf that's just like a beautiful art display of all of your different editions of Quicksilver or all of your editions that are different of Fourth Wing, like, go for it. It's your bookshelves. Feel free to fill them as you please. I prefer to have one book, one version of each book that I have. Sometimes I double up, but that's pretty much as far as I go, and that's my personal preference because I have a limited amount of space. Limited is a relative term, but regardless, I can't do 5 different editions of Crescent City Book 5, and I wouldn't want to because they're all identical. So when it comes to exclusive editions, I'm not a big fan when it comes to these sprayed edges where it's just a single color. Like, part of me appreciates that the exclusive edition was trying to have a cohesive full purple set because the Crave series is a very colorful series. But at the same time, this is very limited effort when it comes to making sprayed edges. And I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. If you're going to put all the effort into making a sprayed edge, make it a really good one. Make it fun. These are the One Dark Window duology, and I love these sprayed edges. I mean, gorgeous. These are the sprayed edges for the 5 Broken Blade series, and I absolutely love not only that they're beautiful, but that it has to do with the book's content as well, which is really fun too. So ultimately, I'm asking you the question: when you are told that something is a special edition book, what are you expecting? And what are you not okay with? And what bothers you about some of the publishers and how they're going about selling books? I'm going to say I don't know how much control Sarah J. Maas or Tracy Wolf had over their publishers having exclusive editions, numerous nearly identical exclusive editions at different booksellers. I don't know how much the author had control over that. My guess is that there was a lot of publisher pressure involved there. Maybe not. I don't know. But I will say that I'm not going to hate on the author specifically. It's just actually a frustrating thing that I just noticed as a trend in publishing in general. So what I think when I hear special edition is I'm expecting a book that has bonus content in it. The specialness of it is the bonus content. Bonus art and or bonus chapters should be, in my opinion, in a special edition. Bonus art could be on the cover where there's a different type of cover. I think that's ideal and really great too. Maybe it's a different hardcover and underneath the dust jacket is really beautiful. That works too. But I do think that all of those bonus art and bonus chapters should be available online for free because I think everybody should have access to the lore that's available out there for these different stories. I think everybody should be able to have access to that without having to drop a ton of money on the books themselves because not everybody can afford that. And I know that libraries aren't going to have these special edition collection books. I mean, maybe some of them do and some of them have some of the books, but we're not going to get all of them in a library, and it's going to limit the accessibility of those stories. So, and all that bonus content that I think, if I went out and I spent the money to buy a book, you don't want all the lore that has to do with that book. And I think that if you did all the effort to go to a library and you read the book, why should you not have access to bonus chapters? It's part of the lore. You did all the work. You either bought the book and you read it, or you went to a library and you read it, but you did the work of reading it and enjoying it. So you should have access to the bonus content. I just think that that should be available. And I appreciate authors that make that freely available to their readers, because I genuinely think it's just about accessibility and fairness. I also really don't think there should be these nearly identical books. When I heard about Crescent City's 5 books, I was like, just shook my head. I was like, I have no interest in that. I don't want any of those. Like, I was strongly opposed to going to any of those bookstores, to be completely honest, because I was like, what is this? Why are we doing it this way? This is not really right. This feels like it falls very heavily into the materialism of America. And yes, I'm saying that sentence while having this as my background. I'm aware there's a level of hypocrisy here, and I apologize. But at the same time, I think that if you're going to do something special, go and do something special. Like I said, this really applies to not doing sprayed edges like this, in my opinion. If you're going to put in the extra effort to spray the edges, take the extra time to do this, as well as extra resources, then really go all out. Give us something beautiful. This is just, it's not what we're looking for. And when it makes a book more expensive, really? Is this really what should be making a book more expensive? This feels like it's not really putting in the effort. I'm so sorry. That's a judgment call on my part, but when I hear special edition, I'm expecting sprayed edges like these, which counts as that bonus art, not sprayed edges like these. This feels like a lack of effort, to be completely honest. So I would also say that for sprayed edges, if we're going to have sprayed edges in the special edition, this is what I'm expecting. You don't have to have sprayed edges for a special edition. It could just be bonus content with bonus art and bonus chapters. That works too. But I definitely feel like if you're buying a special book, putting in that effort to have something special, you really should be getting something for it, in my opinion. I just think that's fair. And I think that it keeps the word special as appropriate for a book. So yeah, those are my big things, is I think that when I hear a special collection or special edition, I'm thinking this is something that is going to bring with it extra content, that if you buy it, you get to have the physical copy, the physical presence of that special content, which is excellent. But I think all of it should also be accessible for people to observe online for free, so that everybody has access to the lore, because that's fair. So what do you all think? Feel free to disagree with anything I had to say. I love that we all have different perspectives and opinions. Please share. Do so respectfully, but please share if you do disagree or if you do agree. I'm just endlessly curious. What do people feel when we have weird special edition situations like this come out? And what are you hoping for when someone says, hey, I'm releasing a special edition? Keep reading what you love, and I will see you next time.